Hello, Mrs. Houston here. Today's learning target is I can use my knowledge of complementary and supplementary angles to find the missing value. Okay, so before this we were talking about adjacent angles, and we found that two angles that were next to each other, when they're next to each other, the two smaller angles added together would make the whole big angle. And this idea is similar, we just have some fancy words here. So complementary are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Okay, so you might have, what does 90 degrees look like? It looks like a right angle, right? So you would have a right angle being split into two different angles. And if I knew this angle was 60 and the whole thing has to be 90, I would know that this other angle is 30 because 60 plus 30 makes 90 degrees. Okay, and then supplementary angles, they're also going to be angles that are next to each other, but they're angles that make a straight line. And maybe we can remember that S from supplementary means straight line because it's angles that add to 180, and most of the time the picture you're going to see is a straight line. So if let's say I split this up like this, okay, and maybe I know this angle over here is 135 degrees. What would the other angle be? Well, I know they have to add up to 180, so I'd subtract 135 from 180, and that would leave me with 45 degrees. So those angles are supplementary. Okay, another way that I like to show is if you have the letter C from complementary, you can make that into a 9 for 90 degrees. And you may see where this is heading. The S, if you could see, what number could I make that into? See how I make it into an 8 for 180 degrees. All right, so we're going to fill in on our note sheet about all the different type of angles. Today we're going to fill in complementary and supplementary. Okay, so if we just want to have a picture here, okay, you want to draw a right angle. Let's make sure we put the box in there to show that it's 90 degrees. And then we're going to split it into two separate angles. Okay, and I'm going to call this one angle A and this one angle B. Oops. That B came out kind of funny. Okay, so if I was going to write an equation, whatever is in angle A, I would add to whatever is in angle B, and I know that the total is going to be 90 degrees, or the sum is 90. Okay, so that's how we will set up an equation for complementary angles. Okay, and now supplementary angles. Draw myself a nice straight line here because I know that they're going to add to 180 degrees. Okay, and again, if this was A and this was B, I'm just using two letters. Whatever you end up labeling in angle A, you're going to add that to whatever they tell you about angle B, and then the sum is 180